Welcome to the Caregivers Lounge, where we dive into the laughter, love, and lessons of caregiving. Because let's be real, this journey is unpredictable. I'm Shante Newby, your host, and whether you're caring for aging parents, deep in the caregiving trenches, just starting out, or simply curious about this world, you found the right place. Here, we share stories, swap insights, and remind each other that no one has to do this alone. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's unwind together. Hello and welcome to the Caregivers Lounge. I am your host, caregiver Shante, and this space is where caregivers like you and me can come together, share some stories, some laughs, some lessons learned about this incredible and challenging and sometimes chaotic journey that we're on. When I created this, I was coming up with the idea and I'm basing it on like a teacher's lounge. You know how they use that room to get away from the bad kids. And then a jazz lounge or somewhere just so you can relax and unwind, right? Something like that. I think that's necessary. So if you're here, you already know what it's like to care for someone you love and have that additional responsibility. And for me, that person is my dad. I'm a stand up comedian as well, and I get a lot of material from this experience. But through it all, though, I have learned a lot about being patient, being resilient, and just finding the humor in situations that most people wouldn't ordinarily find the humor in. But what stood out to me, though, in this journey is when I would share that I'm a caregiver for my dad, or I was trying to take care of business for him. The person on the other end of the phone or in the interaction would say, "Oh, I remember when I had to take care of my mother or when I was responsible for my dad." And some of the stories that they would share with me was hilarious. So I heard the good, the bad, the ugly, and the funny. So that's what this series is all about. I wanted to create a space where we can openly talk about caregiving, not just the challenges. We won't talk about the challenges, but we can also talk about the wins, some of the lessons, and definitely the laughs. So I don't claim to have it all together, but I will share lessons I've learned along the way. This podcast isn't about the technical terms of caregiving. This may be some lessons learned, some traditional experiences, some unorthodox experiences, just whatever may happen. So I don't claim to be an expert in all of this at all. I just have some lived experience. So a few things to know about me. I'm a voice actor. I'm a life and career coach. And I mentioned earlier that I do some stand up comedy. So you never know what may come out of these episodes because while we are caregivers, we all still have a life outside of that, even though for some it may not feel that way. So, my journey as a caregiver has even inspired my book, Your Name is Joseph. I'm going to let you see it right here. In this book, I dive into themes of love, faith, finding strength in the hardest moments, and I'll be sharing more about that as we go along. It's currently available almost anywhere you can buy a book. I also even narrated the audio book. So for you busybodies, it's too busy to pick up a book, you can actually get it on Audible, Amazon, wherever you buy your audiobooks. So why this matters? I know that caregiving can feel like you're the only one going through it. No one will understand what I'm going through. That's why I created the Caregivers Lounge, to remind you that you are not alone. So, whether you're here for tips, inspiration, or just a good laugh to lighten your day, my hope is that this space will feel like a breath of fresh air in your busy life. So, let me share a story just to kick things off. And this happened recently with my father. So, let me set the scene. My dad had to have cataract surgery, and we were at his second appointment. Now, take note that it's a second appointment because one episode I'm going to share what happened on the first appointment. So we were in there for his second cataract appointment, second cataract surgery. And it was really uneventful up until a certain point. So this lady walked in with her daughter and she sat down. And my dad sat down next to her. And so he looked over to her and he said, "Hey, young man." And she looked back at him. She had sunglasses on. She lifted them up and she said, "Man, I'm a ma'am." And so my dad started smiling. I looked at dad and I was like, kind of tapped him on the leg like he's my little kid, because that's what it feels like sometimes. And I said, "Dad, That's a lady. I was so flustered by what happened. I even said, it's a lady, because I was just trying to say, it's a lady. Like I couldn't even get my words together. So I'm apologizing to the lady and I'm apologizing to the daughter that's sitting next to her. And the daughter's like, it's okay. I understand. I said, hey, my dad had a stroke. So my dad is smiling the whole time as I'm trying to explain to him. And he says to me, well, how did you know? And I said, I just did. And I said, we will talk about this later. Oh, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. And so things like that happen. And I'm like, oh my God, what would have happened if I wasn't here? Like I think about things like that. There's more I can share on that story, but yeah, all that to say, he was convinced that she was a man. And I'll tell you why. I mean, from him and how he processes things is a little different, but she had very short hair and her voice was a little deep, but I knew she was a woman. Like I knew. And he was like, well, how did you know? I'm like, I just know. Yep, he keeps me laughing. We laugh about that. And he has given me permission to share these stories about him. So, throughout this series, we'll talk about everything from some practical tips and lessons learned to some personal stories, like I just shared, even some of those you can't make this up caregiving moments. I actually have a list that I created that I was going to use for my stand up comedy or posting on social media, and I called them caregiver moments. I am actually on number 140, I believe. So I'm going to actually pull from that list to share some things with you. And hopefully you will get to hear other stories and tips too. When I told people that I was doing this, they were actually pretty excited and wanted to be a part of it and share their experiences. Because look at this, even though I say Caregivers Lounge, if you have an aging parent that is mostly independent, there are probably things that you still have to do to help them. So, you, my friend, you're a caregiver. And you can tell your parent that too. No, you don't have to tell them that because they're your parent and they start putting their authority on you, like I'm the mom or I'm the dad. So, anyways, if this sounds like something you need in your life, hit that subscribe button and join me here in the Caregivers Lounge. But before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Caregiving is full of unforgettable moments, powerful moments. I would love for you to just drop one moment, just share a moment with me that has left a lasting impact on you. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you'd like to send me some of your stories or you would like the opportunity to come on this show and share some of your experiences, please feel free to email me at caregiverslounge@icloud.com. I'm also on Facebook. I'm creating a Facebook group actually. So definitely join that too, where we can have some exchanges about our experiences, some lessons learned. Um, what else can I tell you? We're just going to just go with it. So this first episode is pretty short. I plan on keeping them kind of short for now because I know you're busy. I know I'm busy. But I am really appreciative that you took the time to be with me. And I look forward to sharing stories and I look forward to actually hearing your stories. I'm sure that I'm going to learn just as much from you as people may have learned from me, if not more. So, again, you are not alone. We are in this together. And I hope to see you in the lounge with me every time. All right. And don't forget, get something nice to drink. Right now, I'm drinking water, but hey, whatever helps you, water, juice. All right. See you at the next one.